Good morning, everybody. I hope this Wednesday finds you all very well. Thank y'all for having me today. It is such an honor. Speaking on this stage is kind of a dream for most anyone that dreams about a life in politics, so this is a huge day for me. It's just wonderful. I'm so blessed to be part of this race, and I'd like to start out by thanking not only my supporters, but my opponents for running such a beautiful race full of respect and kindness and education. All of us have the intention to put Mississippi first and to make everyone in this state food secure and increase an industry that provides essential basic necessities of life. So today I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background and who I am and how I got up on this stage today. And if you have any questions by the time I'm done, please seek me out so that we can have the conversations that everyone in this state needs to be having right now. So I was born and raised in Northeast Mississippi. I was raised on my grandparents' 80-acre cattle farm. We had multiple gardens, multiple ponds, hunting, fishing, farming, foraging. These things are just a way of life. And like most of you, if you haven't, canned corn with Nanny while Days of Our Lives played in the background, you ain't from Mississippi. And that was just the way it was. The whole family came together to not only sow the seeds, but to harvest the crops, and then we all preserved them together. We secured the entire food supply for my entire family. And of course, like most of you, I come from a big old Southern family. And growing up this way, it really gave me a sense of not only the acknowledgement of what it means to be part of a community, but it showed the importance of community-based economics. Everyone who showed up at our house had a seat at our table. And anytime we needed it, we could get something else from anybody else because everyone in the community wanted to take care of each other. And as technology grows, and as wonderful as that is, we're getting further and further away from that way of life. And it's detrimental to our children who have to understand that to meet their basic needs, they have to have the knowledge to hunt, farm, fish, and forage. If they don't, they will starve. Y'all, this is more apparent now than ever after experiencing COVID-19. I remember what it felt like to walk into stores and see empty shelves. I was lucky. I was raised differently. So for me, I knew that the most important thing I could do was to get in the ground the very next spring, get my crops growing. And it offered such a sense of security when billions in the world didn't know how they were going to provide basic necessities for their family. This is why I'm so passionate about food security. Agriculture is our #1 industry, it is our #1 employer, and less than 1% of this state is farming. We have to be able to provide a secure food supply and clean water so that we can survive. Because regardless of your race, your age, your gender, your sexual orientation, or your political affiliation, without clean water and a secure food supply, you will die. There is nothing that is more important than securing the tables of our future families in Mississippi. This is crucial, and this is why I felt so compelled to run for this office, to raise awareness of the importance of the Mississippi Department of Agriculture and these positions that make this happen, that make sure that when those store shelves are empty again, we will have solutions, that offer assistance to the farmers, the people that are putting the food on our table. There's nothing more important than a farmer when you have to have food. Without it, you will die. These guys are making everything happen. They're making sure that the food chain is there, and they're securing the economy of Mississippi. And a lot of people don't even realize what the role of the Department of Agriculture is. So I really just think it's really important that, you can see that we have so many opponents running this race, and you can see that we're at a dire time that we really have to start getting things moving. And a lot of you might recognize me from my medical cannabis advocacy. I actually devoted my full life after the ballot initiative process got thrown out by the Supreme Court after medical cannabis won overwhelmingly in the last election. And the day that happened, I devoted the rest of my life to fighting for Mississippi. I went down to Jackson. I worked countless hours along with legislators. I took any mentorship that I can so that I could better be eloquent in my fight, and I organized a grassroots movement of tens of thousands of Mississippians to help usher in that change. And I got to collaborate and help usher in the Mississippi Medical Cannabis Act. Well, why is that important? Not only did more people vote for medical cannabis in the 2020 election, but we all have had a relative that has succumbed to cancer and sicknesses and facing a failed healthcare system. We're afraid, and we know that this is safe medicine. Also, our ballot initiative process is the voice of the people, and to fight for that is a massive honor. And I'm so proud to be part of that movement and to have led that movement and to have been successful. We have brought in thousands of jobs. Thousands of patients are on safe medicine, and over 500 businesses. I am so proud of the work we've done by ushering in a multi-million-dollar industry. But that journey took me all around this state, and it showed me all of the issues that Mississippians are facing. It showed that there is a desperate need for everybody to work together. There is a desperate need for industrial hemp to be commonplace in this state. And the Hemp Cultivation Act of 2020 passed. The program still sits because the funds haven't been allocated to create that program. The only way to grow hemp in Mississippi is through the USDA. So the cultivators of the Mississippi Medical Cannabis Act also receive no support from the Department of Agriculture, who opted out of the program. So you have these next generation of farmers who are curing worldwide crises with these products, and they don't have any support of our Department of Agriculture. And that's something that I would like to change. Well, why is this important? Industrial hemp is projected to be a $17 billion industry by 2030. $17 billion. There's no reason our Delta can't be the Silicon Valley of industrial hemp. Well, why does that matter? All right, let's go back to this. We are drowning in waste. Humanity is drowning in human waste. We are throwing out single-use plastics on an astronomical scale. Well, when I moved out west, actually worked in recycling and composting regulation and compliance. I have seen the detrimental impacts of a metro city who actually does have recycling and composting programs already in place, still struggle to maintain the trash. Well, a couple of things have happened in the last couple of years. The Jackson water crisis and detrimental tornadoes to a lot of our communities, which has meant a huge influx of plastic water bottles into our landfills as well. So as we continue to use petroleum plastics, we're filling up our landfills with no solution of how to get rid of them, when we could be using hemp plastic, growing it over in the Delta, handing it off to sustainable manufacturing throughout the state of Mississippi, and curing a worldwide crisis. And when you work somewhere that is saving the world, that feels real good, because it feels good to do good. And I'm just so passionate about these topics, and I just felt like if I could get up and talk to people about all these things that are so important, that not only could Mississippi change our projected future, but y'all, we can help save the world. And I think it's so imperative for not only economic development, workforce development, but like I said, we had an old way of life and things were just a way when I grew up, and we're getting further and further away from that. And anything and everything I can do in my being wants to protect Mississippians. I'm a Christian, mother, wife, sister, granddaughter, and I say all that to remind you that there are people that I'm fighting for. I'm living a life that I was never supposed to have. I got very sick when I was at school at Ole Miss, and they thought I was dying. Y'all, cannabis gave me my life back. I've never once took a disability check, and I devote my entire life to public service. And being back in Mississippi and being able to fight for the rights of our future is one of the greatest honors of my life. And I have tremendous amount of respect for my opponents. I do believe that great leaders inspire the rest of us to take a chance and stand up. And I'm just so honored to have my name next to theirs, truthfully. I mean that to my heart. And I'm so proud to have got to speak in front of you today. If you have any questions, please just reach out to me. There's so many things that we can do and build together. I seek to unify, not to divide, and I think that when we come together, beautiful things happen. If you'd like to learn more, please go to BethanyForAg.com. Please come out and vote on the Democratic primary on August 8th. I'm the only female running for Ag Commissioner, so I'm pretty easy to find. And I just appreciate you all so, so much, and I just hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for your time.